Well, hello, I'm here with Joris van der Geest, CIO of the Ampere Equity Fund of the Triodos Bank. Joris, how has the financial crisis in Europe affecting equity investment in renewable energy?
Well, so far it hasn't affected us as a fund. We were founded 4 years ago, and we have the equity available, or we had the full equity available for our investment strategy, and we are now fully invested, notwithstanding the financial crisis. Albeit in the last year, getting bank financing for the projects at project level became more and more difficult.
And given the lack of bank financing, you financed a 34 megawatt solar PV portfolio in France alongside Solar Direct, and that used a different kind of, a slightly different financing model in terms of when the debt came into the project. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that's a good example of where we had to be a bit more creative, and also in a partnership with Solar Direct. There was kind of a short time frame to finish projects, to qualify for the feed-in tariff, and banks were at that moment not willing to take the construction risk for the risk of delay and not qualifying for the feed-in tariff. So we worked with Solar Direct based on full equity funding until completion. So we completed together 3 projects, and then subsequently reached financial close with the banks and refinanced part of our equity bridge.
And is this a model that you can see replicating in other markets? Obviously, markets like Germany, Italy, where the tariffs are also set to fall in quite narrow time frames, so there's going to be a lot of projects racing to get complete before the tariff is cut completely. Is that a model that you think will be replicated there?
Yeah, well, in Italy, in fact, we did the same. We have 2 portfolios, one of them with bank financing and one without, and that was more or less the same situation indeed. In Germany, we have project financing on all our investments, and that remains the most easy market to get financing. But I think in the future, looking at the amount of debt that is required in total, we have to look at alternatives also.
And in the post, if we say post July this year, when the tariffs are going to be much smaller in all of those main markets, how does that affect equity investment profiles into renewable energy, into new renewable energy projects?
Yeah, I think, well, in looking at solar PV, the positive thing is that also the EPC prices have come down, but it becomes more and more difficult to get large-scale projects like Ampere Equity is investing in. In onshore wind, it's a bit different. There are larger projects available in the market. In general, I think the feed-in tariff also for onshore wind has not come down, or is not more difficult to get. So that remains more or less stable, but it's also a maturing market.
And you're also active in offshore wind. Where do you see the main sources of investment coming in there to bridge the kind of gap between what utilities can provide, what banks can provide in terms of debt financing?
You mean debt financing in offshore wind?
Well, I mean, talk of more the fact that there won't be sufficient debt financing to get to that point. Where will the other source of equity come from besides funds like yourself?
Well, what we have for our offshore wind investment, we have already made quite a big step, I think, because we teamed up with PTGM, which is an investor in our fund, who invested as a co-investor next to us in the project. So I think that is one source of equity that would become more available. So direct investments by institutional investors, as well as also alternatives in a way of probably full equity financing or kind of senior debt kind of funds made available by institutional investors to basically bridge any potential shortage in bank financing.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time.